Well, Herb, snow and ice as far as the eye can see.
That's right, Don. Wind chill factor of 120 degrees below zero.
Yep, summer's finally here. Guess what my #1 summer turn-on is?
Well, give me a hint.
Well, it starts with a B.
Ah, bikinis.
No, Beakman.
Ah, how about Beakman in a bikini?
Now you're being flippant.
Oh, well, let's turn them on anyway.
Okay, with a flip of my flipper.
For every human on Earth, there are 13.5 million termites. I'm Beakman, and you've just broken into Beakman's world. Beakman!
To be or not to be? That's the question.
My question is, what are you doing, Lester?
Why Shakespeare in the Parker Natch?
Why? It's Rashad Roan of Carroll City, Florida. He asks, why does sweat smell when it comes out of your body?
No sweat, or as we scientists say, no perspiration. A tough topic, Rashad, but I'm game. And he's gamey. See, perspiration is how our bodies keep from overheating. Now that's very important, since to stay healthy, the temperature inside our bodies has to stay within a normal range. Lester, imagine your body is a car.
Well, there's a spare tire.
Like your body, a car's engine needs to stay at a certain temperature. On the car, maintaining that temperature is the job of the radiator. The radiator that keeps our bodies running cool is our skin. And one of the ways our body's radiator cools us off is with the perspiration produced by our sweat glands. Sweat! Glands are little chemical factories inside your body that produce goodies like earwax.
Yes!
Saliva.
Hallelujah!
And the ever-popular perspiration.
You got me sweating.
But how does sweat cool your body?
Through that miracle of nature. The same thing that dries your clothes when you hang them on the line. The same thing that makes puddles disappear in the street.
Oh, evaporation.
Cool demo! Okay, try blowing on the back of your hand. Does your hand feel any cooler?
Not really.
Well, we could use sweat or even water, but the experiment works better if you do it with this. Ordinary rubbing alcohol, like you find at an ordinary drugstore.
Never get it near your eyes.
And absolutely never, ever drink it.
We use alcohol.
Because it evaporates faster than sweat or water.
All right. Go. Now try blowing on your hand.
Oh, it feels like a cool breeze.
Exactly. When molecules of the alcohol evaporated, they carried energy away with them. This made your skin cooler. Whoa. Blowing on the alcohol
Moved the molecules away faster.
Woo. Gee, I hope this high-tech demo doesn't bust our budget.
He was just trying to make a point.
I was just trying to make a point.
Your skin has millions of tiny openings called pores, and the sweat produced by your sweat glands oozes out through those pores. pours onto your skin where it evaporates and cools your body.
People sweat as much as a quart or more of liquid a day. Yummy! Okay, Beakman, now we know why we sweat, but Rashad wants to know why sweat stinks.
It doesn't. It really doesn't have much of an odor at all. Sample this! Yikes! Oh, there's an odor there, all right. But it's not the sweat. Oh, scope. Let's get up close and perspirational with Lester's armpit as we drop in on bacteria having themselves a picnic. Bacteria are microscopic organisms that live by the millions all over your skin. And they just love to eat sweat and skin oils. And just like any other living thing, when food comes in, waste goes out. And it's this bacterial waste that makes your pits putrid and pungent. So, Rashad Roan of Carroll City, Florida, thanks for your query. I hope our show and tell on smell
Kept you in sync on stink.
bada bing,
Bada boom.
Bada B.O.
Oh, if you think Lester's pits are disgusting, wait till we visit the world's grossest chef. We'll learn how to make paint on Cooking with Art. Don't wander off.
Beakman's World will be back in a flash. And now, back to Beakman's World.
Buckle up for safety. It's time to quit crank your think tank. Here he is, the acrobat of the arcane, the paratrooper of profundity, the Alejandro Rey of the you don't say, the one, the only, the Beakman.
You slug 'em? I'll hug 'em. Let's saber dance. The truth? You can't handle the truth.
Question! Max Miller of Tulsa, Oklahoma writes, Dear Beakman, how much food does an average person eat in a lifetime?
Answer? The average North American eats 50 tons of food and drinks 11,000 gallons of liquid.
In a lifetime, I eat more than that in a lunchtime.
Question. What's the world's largest desert?
Answer, the big, beautiful banana boat.
I didn't ask about the world's largest dessert with 2 S's. I asked about the world's largest desert with 1 S.
Well, then I've slightly made an S of myself.
Real answer? The world's biggest desert is the Sahara in Africa. At 3.5 million square miles, it's 16 times the size of France. Sacre bleu! Oh my! Do you know what that music means?
We're in the dentist's chair and he's about to drill without Novocaine? Huh?
No, it means it's time for...
Cooking with Art, where you learn how to cook up some tasty science experiments with stuff you can find right in your own kitchen. Here's your host, the always appetizing Art Byrne.
Yo! Welcome to my humble commode. Hey, not only do you get to see art, you get to make it. Cause I'm here to learn yous how to make a little something I like to call paint. Pencil alert!
All right, let me see now. I will have...
You will take what I give you, Whisker Boy. And no substitutions. Colored chalk.
Colored chalk!
White glue.
White glue!
A hammer.
A hammer!
An old cooking pot.
Cooking pot!
A small jar.
Small jar!
Water.
Water!
And an old, experiments, do them only the way we do them, safely, and with the help of a grown-up type person.
Take a stick or two of colored chalk and wrap it in an old dish towel, like so, yeah. Now we're really gonna pound on this chalk, and we don't want no bits getting stuck in your eyeballs. Now, all paint needs pigment. That's the color. We're getting our pigment from this here chalk. Keep pounding till you can't feel no chunks no more. Next, dump this powdered chalk into your pot. Hey. And add a quarter cup of water to every 2 sticks of chalk you pound up. Now, use the handle of this little hammer to mash the bits into a paste. The second thing paint needs is a vehicle. Get out of here. Something to carry the pigment and stick it to whatever you're painting. I'm using good old white glue. I've stuck with this stuff for years. Put a tablespoon of the gluey gunk into this jar. Add your mashed chalk paste to the jar. Seal the jar. And mambo. And there you go, ever-loving paint. You can mix your chalk and get lots of colors, like blue and yellow to get green, or red and yellow to make orange. Paint a picture, paint your wagon, paint the town red, whatever. So there you have it, another week of art. Until next time, this is Art Boy saying, yo, get out of my kitchen!
Coming up next, we'll answer a weighty question on the perplexities of poundage. We'll weigh something even bigger than Lester after this. Be right back.
Beakman's World will be back after these messages. And now, back to Beakman's World.
Here's one from a chap from Belleville, New Jersey. Mark Rambaldi wants to know, how can you find out how much a car weighs?
Don't waste your time asking it. The car will always lie.
I know. You can weigh a car by putting it on a scale.
Good thinking, Phoebe. But a car is pretty heavy. What if you don't have a scale that big or goes up that high? And Lester won't lend you his.
Yeah, didn't think of that, did you?
Scientists and engineers are always coming up with new ways to measure stuff that seems too big or too small to measure. By measuring the size of the Earth and the pull of gravity on its surface, they've figured out that our planet Earth weighs about 6 sextillion metric tons. That's 6 with 21 zeros after it. But weighing a car, that calls for some really deep thinking. We've got to put our heads together. I've got it! We can weigh the car using our old friend... air pressure. And you can do it too. Johnny, tell them what they need.
2 sheets of paper. Oh, boy.
A ruler.
Whoa, yeah. A pad and pencil. I needed those. A tire pressure gauge. A tire pressure gauge? Yeah. And, of course, a brand new car.
Now, if you're gonna do this, remember that a car is a big, heavy object that can roll on top of you. So make sure you're with a grown-up and the car's turned off and parked on a flat surface.
Make sure the emergency brake is set.
And most important of all, never mix stripes with checks.
First, we push a piece of our poster board under the tire in front as far as it will go, like so. And behind the tire, like so again. Measure the gap between the two pieces of poster board. Phoebe, please jot down
6 inches. Got it.
Then, put the poster board under the sides of the tire, like thus, and like thus. And measure this gap thusly. It's about
4 inches.
We're measuring the tire's footprint, or the part of the tire that touches the road. Now we need one more measurement, the tire pressure. Now, where's that gauge? Ooh. Oh.
This little thingamahickey measures how hard the air inside the tire is pushing out on the tire's walls.
Let me out of here. I gotta make a phone call.
24 pounds per square inch.
Better get on a diet.
Now do the same thing for the other 3 tires. Once you've measured all 4 tires, you have all the information you need to figure out the car's weight. Phoebe, what are the dimensions of the first tire's footprint?
6 inches by 4 inches.
So the tire's footprint is 6 inches by 4 inches. So if we multiply 6 times 4, we get 24 square inches. And what did the tire pressure gauge say again?
24 pounds per square inch.
So if we multiply 24 square inches times 24 pounds for every square inch, we get 576.
Okay, so that means the car weighs 576 pounds. Good question, nice answer. Time for lunch.
Hold your hoagie, Lester. We have to do this calculation for all 4 tires and then add those 4 numbers together. By our calculations, the 1961 Beakmobile weighs 2,120 pounds.
Or 964 kilograms for all you kilogram lovers out there.
Here's how it works. All of the weight of a car is held up by its 4 tires. When we put the weight of a car on the tires get squashed down a little, and more of the tire touches the road. The more weight a tire holds up, the more that tire is flattened against the road and the bigger its footprint. The less weight a tire holds up, the less it's smushed against the road and the smaller its footprint.
So, if you know the size of the tire's footprint and the pressure of the air inside the tire, then you can figure out how much weight that tire is holding up.
And if you add up the weight each tire is holding up, you know the weight of the car.
Checking our owner's manual, we see that the 1961 Beakmobile weighs 1,990 pounds.
We were very close. If you come within 10% of the car's weight, you've done a great job.
Here's a letter from someone who calls himself Psyche from Mesquite, Texas. How do they know how many calories are in something? Well, Psyche, Beakman will be back with an answer after this.
Beakman's World must now take a beaker break. And now, back to Beakman's World.
How do they know how many calories are in a food? Tasty question, Psyche. And I've got a simple answer.
They burn the food.
Fire in the hole!
See, a calorie is a measurement of heat energy. By measuring how much heat a food gives off when it burns, we know how many calories it has.
So, the next time you burn your morning toast, just tell your family you were seeing how many calories are in it.
And speaking of calories, I'd like to get some in me.
Lunchward ho!
See you next time.
On Beakman's World.
Well done, another episode of Beakman. And how'd you like it?
I laughed, I cried, I molted.
Right. Well, now that the show's over, I think it's time to start enjoying the great outdoors, to feast our eyes on the pristine beauty and the untamed desolation of nature.
Good idea. What channel is that on?
Oh, Don, give your beak a zipper and the remote a flipper.